And so you say the creator God of this universe is a humanoid or human being, and you say it's like an Anunnaki. Does that being have a name or that we could
There are
call?
many names that it is given. However, when it is given one particular name, because so many world religions have formed on your planet that give it different names and that swear their name is the right name, usually there is a polarization that takes place. So our species has referred to this as all that is. People on your planet would call it Allah. They would call it Yahweh. They would even call it Hari. There's many, many, many different names for what you would call the god of this particular universe. Anu is another representation of it. Some people would even claim Metatron is a representation of it. So there are many ways to personify this, which you would call the Jade Emperor from Taoism, another example. These are all different names for this creator entity. But the creator entity, of course, is the infinite. It is an infinite being. Therefore, any name that is given to it we'll only capture a sliver of its infinite multidimensional persona. Therefore, naming it is actually what creates the idea of fragmentation within one's relationship to the source. This is why Crowley oftentimes referred to the source as the bornless one. And that's why the Taoists say the true Tao is the Tao that cannot be named. If you can name it, it is not the true Tao.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So when you name God, you create a fragmentation within your own God consciousness. We would advise the following: instead of naming God to claim God, describe it. Because the description of God, the description of Source, is a devotional poetic act without swearing allegiance to any particular egregore created on your world.
If there's the creator God of this universe, and then you have the source, which is sort of the highest. So they're the same being, but they're also, like you say, maybe a step down. But the creator God of this universe is a step down version of the source. And it seems like when like Yeshua, he would talk about his father, right? Which so it seems like he had that sort of personal, intimate relationship with the creator God of this universe.
Precisely. Precisely, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, which is what you can do as well. And it is a level beyond what you call the higher self. So we'll talk about it in the following way. When your physical mind and the higher self begin to merge, you become the higher self. That's when you become the Christ. That's when the heart centers truly open. The next level is the merging with the source of this particular universe. And that's when you experience merging with what you would call God the Father in your traditional texts. But once that merging is complete, then you are merging again with the levels above this. Now you're getting into multiversal sources. And then you go above that. So yes, it is exactly as you said. It's almost as if they are a few steps down. They are denser, if you will. And we remind you that there are sources that are non-human. This also exists. There are infinite versions of these creator sources. For example, there are universes that are reptilian in nature. It is the reptilian power that is the central one. There are other universes that are gray in nature. The gray power is the central one. There are universes that are dragon-based or draconian in nature. These are also existing. And they are all, in a sense, vibrating at different frequencies, creating their own dreams, and the source of this universe draws upon theirs as needed, and vice versa.
When Yeshua spoke in the Bible, it often says that he said that you are the only begotten Son of God. I'm thinking about what that means. When he says only begotten, he's saying each being is really the only son or daughter of God, right? There's not many children of God, actually. Could you speak about that?
Everyone is a child of God because all beings are of the source. Now, yes, we have said you are all in your own universes projecting into this particular universe, and each universe can have all types of different source stream archetypes that empower. For example, there can be an avian one, a reptilian one, a draconian one, a gray one, yes, so on and so forth. Nevertheless, when you incarnate here on Earth, it's as if all of that is forgotten and you are now playing the same role. You're all playing the game of human. And it's all now coming together in the following way. It's as if you all now have the same shared source because you have all incarnated into this universe. So even though you still exist in your own with whatever sources you're connected to because you have jumped into this one, it is as if you are all now the children of this particular universe's source because you had to pass through that source portal to get into this universe. So now that you're here, you have the ability to declare that you are a child of the source. You have the ability to declare you are the child of the creator because you have come into this universe through the portal of the creator. So even though many entities will say, I do not feel any connection to the source of this universe, I feel a connection to something else, this over here, that over there, it doesn't matter because nevertheless, they are still a child of this universal source through virtue of having incarnated here. So whether people feel connected to it or not, they are still, in a sense, its child. And through their own co-creative power, they are also its father, its parent. Yes, because we said it's a two-way street between you and the source of this universe. It's not as if the source of this universe created and then stopped. It creates and it continues to create through the incarnation. So they create one another.
Okay. And so, you know, you said that you don't exist in our exact same universe or exact same reality. Does all this apply to you, or is there something a little different in your species, your civilizations?
In our reality, it is a little bit different. Yes, we are in a slightly different version of this particular universe, which, because every change is a complete change, you could say we are in a totally different universe, yes? That's why we mentioned these different universes can appear to be incredibly similar to yours, yet they are their own universes. Yes, yes. So with that being said, our experience of the source is human, but it is also hybrid, and it is also Syrian, and it is also Arcturian in nature. It is a type of composite, you could say, sensation that we experience when we experience the personification of this universal source that we are a part of. So to us, it is slightly less human than how you understand it. However, as we understand it, it's more human. Because within the human, you must remember, there are what? The higher and the lower dimensional forces. Yes, there's the familiar and the exotic. So when all of these species begin to come together and reunite, the source of the universe begins to take on the image and likeness of that reunion. And because all of these different creations are different representations of that source, when they all come together and form the new representation of that particular source energy, to us is as if it is a more human and a more accurate representation of it. But ultimately, no representation is fine.